Hello YouTube, Ronin Kaze. Trying to start it, messed up already. It's the Division 2, it's Monday. What are we going to talk about today, YouTube? That's the build I'm running. That's the refractor build with the kind of the, what I call the chassis concept. I sped this up quite a bit. If you could like, subscribe, share, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Appreciate all the people that watch the channel. So this originally started as a shepherd call. I'm jumped in with this person, and eventually, I didn't know this, but we were going to run all this stuff till we got a retaliation come up. I don't remember exactly when retaliation, maybe it was 2 or 3 upgrades ago, but I never just did that. I think I've done it once on my own where I, by accident, I was out grinding or something and I got enough, whatever, extraction points to get in it, to trigger it. But I have jumped in groups when I'm just playing like heroics, or if I'm warming up and I do a heroic, I'll kind of get into some of these retaliations. One of the good things about it, and I apologize for not knowing all the facts. I'm just going basically on what I do. I know when you're on a heroic retaliation, you get an exotic chest or loot box. And so it makes it worthwhile in your week. That's another way to kind of grind. You know, you could probably get more exotics. And as we talked about before, the main reason you want to grind exotics, some pieces are, I think, necessary. Scorpio, Blue Streak, and there's some other, the St. Elmo's. Those are 3 weapons that are great. And, you know, I'm a big Vile Mask person. I've tried to build other builds. That's redundant. I've tried to make other builds that have other exotics, like the Shocker. So I've built that sometimes as like a tank build. But all in all, getting exotics is kind of important. So it's worthwhile running. Like if you run in the summit, you end up doing that as well. So what kind of builds are good for extraction? Well, what I've noticed is most people in extraction have high armor. There's a big penalty when you die, or at least when I had done it before. When I died, I couldn't fast travel to someone. I had to go back, and then I had to run, and I ended up just getting smoked running on my way back. So like the first one I did, I just didn't realize the mechanics of it. So you want a build that's relatively stout. And so I keep using Refractor because it's just in general, it's a good build. It puts out decent damage, but you're always healing everyone. This is a case where you want some type of healing. You don't want to. The other thing about retaliation is you will build up time for every enemy you killed. So you just don't want to go straight heals. You want something. I mean, Refractor is perfect for that. Maybe it came out when Refractor came out. Maybe that's why they built Refractor. And in general, if you don't know what Refractor is, it's a green set of armor that as your skills do damage, you get some percentage back as health. And depending on whether you have the chest piece or the backpack, you get more health or whatever. So in all these builds, in almost all the builds I run, there's very seldom, right now I can only think of one, I'm going to do a video on it, that I don't use the Ninja Backpack, which is like a wildcard piece. And so you saw right there, it was a little bit hairy, but you know, I got something going on all the time. I got some type of healing. And in this group, we also have someone that's, I think, is throwing out heals as well. So we're like well positioned. And the main thing in a retaliation, I think, is don't die, right? Because that's really you're in a match where time to kill is important. right? The time you get through here is important. So you need damage, and when you go down, that's really screwing up the DPS. And the times that we've failed have been, you know, when someone's died and we got to res them, or they have to run back to us or whatever. What I like to do now in this refractor build is I like to use Pestilence, which is a LMG that once someone dies, it spreads your kind of damage over time to someone. That with these, with either the Vial build or Refractor and Vial build, but some type of other, you know, where you're putting out damage, just another thing to do even more damage, which is pretty good. Because you're gonna kill, right, with 2 skills out, and I'm level 6, or I'm 6 tier skill, so I got the maximum level I can within reason. And so that's what's gonna kind of help you. When would I use blue screen over Pestilence? Blue screen I'd use if I had a Vial Jammer build. And in a Vial Jammer build, I might be using, put the stacks on with blue, whatever it's called, sorry, brain fart. Put the stacks on, and then I'm Vial jamming every 12 seconds or so. So I'm putting out, you know, a lot of status effects. And one of the things that's good about that is that usually in those builds, I'll have like a Creeping Death on my backpack, so I'm looking to spread that all the time. Scorpio is another good one, but Scorpio is better on single targets because it you get that shock, and that can stop someone from moving, like a Chunga moving down after you. But BlueStacks does the same thing, but it's more of like a, I would say it's an AoE. It's not looked at as an AoE, but when you activate the status effects portion of BlueStacks, it's really good. And I kind of made a decision I'm going to try to get to a higher shepherd level this time. So I'm doing a lot of shepherding this season. And one of the things I notice, if I come into the game and I go to try to shepherd immediately, I won't get anyone. But if I do like a warm-up, like I do a heroic run with someone, and then I usually get a backup call. And I'll tell you one of the worst things that happens when you're trying to run shepherd and you forget to turn your shepherd on, you know, and then you get a backup call and someone has it on automatically, so they get picked before you. So really in this build, I'm just trying to stay in the center. I got my turret out and I have my drone. And so I'm just, oh, I'm out of ammo. So then I go back to my rifle. Again, on a lot of times when you have these skill builds and when you're healing, you don't want to have to keep repositioning, because that's downtime that you're not having damage come up. So what I'm acutely aware of is you can see that my turret is getting lower. I don't want to be down, you know, both skills, because then I'm not putting out healing. And sometimes when I'm in a legendary, I'll announce that. I'll get on my mic and announce that if we're in a group and they don't understand what I'm doing. Maybe I'll say that, like, when my skills are down, we're not getting any healing. Okay, now we're going to go to Retaliation. And so one of the things that happens sometimes, like I'll be in a group and they're just like, I'm carrying them with the heals. And I might have done something petty, YouTube, sorry for being petty. But I might have said, okay, you guys never would let me set up, so I'm following behind them, but I got to get my gear and do all that, and eventually we wipe because, whatever. That's another story for another time. So there's some confusion. What happens usually, you get checkpoints to get, and we're not sure which way we're going. Eventually, you know, there's one that's highlighted. I'm trying to just follow everyone. And so the checkpoints aren't quite as hard as a normal heroic checkpoint. And you see I'm going to get up here and I'm going to just put that where I'm going to get the most people, most action. Again, I got to be engaged with someone to give everyone healing. So this is kind of important. And you're always getting healing, so you can be a little more aggressive. And you see in the left side of the screen, there's our countdown timer. And I've kind of augmented it so you can see it's with the red ring around it. It has a white ring. Normally it just looks like the white part on the screen in the game. Geez, I'm not even looking at the... Not even looking at the right camera, YouTube. I'm all into the game. I'm like, oh yeah. So this is your standard stuff, but what's going to happen is this. This is at cinder block. And then they give us another checkpoint to do that's like 6.6 kilometers, which is a long hump. And you have that timer, so you're like nervous about it. But what I hope would happen, did happen, you're going to see that the game puts enough enemies in front of you that you do not lose that much time. And the other thing, you got to collect your gear, right? So you don't, this is one of those parts where you might not be able to collect every single piece that you get because you got this time. We got 9 minutes, so that's a long time. But when I look at the map, it's like all the way at the top of the map, and I'm like, holy mackerel. So I can see it's up there. Oh, maybe you can't see how far it is. You can't, but it was like points. There we go. It's all the way at the top, so I'm like, holy mackerel. I recently tweaked my back, so that's, if you see me moving around a bunch, it's because I'm uncomfortable. And I'm trying to get through there. So we get in there. We're going to eat these guys up because we didn't. Sometimes you'll get like a kill squad that will come out after you, and those will be like named characters that are all yellow, and so that they're kind of tough. But it's, you know, with concentrated fire, it's pretty easy to do. When I'm moving in and out of the camera like this, it's going to make my head get cropped off because I'm going to crop it down to like probably this part. And so then when I move in, it's going to get cropped off. So that's what's happening. So I think I've said this before. This is my main character. I think my name in game is Ronin. I'm not positive what it is. I'll post that in the description if you want to join me. I'm going to be on this for a while. I think I did enough videos showing you what it is if you start in the division. That my character there was Ronin Naira, but I'm not sure if that's the name, and I'm not sure what this character's name is. So we finally made it up. And it's going to be around this corner to the left. So one thing I like to do in all of these is I like to get inside near the spawn and fight from the backside out. Normally I wouldn't do that because I'd be afraid of getting killed, but I know if I got my drone out there, I'm getting healed the whole time. And on this checkpoint, I always go here and fight from behind here. Now in a normal checkpoint, they'll spawn right out of that door sometimes. So I might toss a grenade over there eventually. And apparently, I'm not going to listen to myself this time, YouTube. So it's a negative that I don't have my turret on this end, but with this, they can spawn from either side, so I don't have to look back as much because that backside is protected. And you see how we're doing on time. This looks like a spot for a grenade. Oh, I might not have mentioned, I'm also survival build just for that very thing. The grenade The grenade on the technician is no good unless you have a vial. If you have a vial mask, then it will trigger the vial effect. But I found the survival more better. There's more advantages to survival. It means I have to have 6 pieces. I don't get the advantage of getting a free piece. If I was getting a free piece, maybe I'd have that Picaro's holster or Pizarro's holster, whatever it's called, because it gives you damage and it gives you a yellow with the, and there we're done. A yellow and it gives you a red. So it's another kind of multi-piece, which I like. So this is Ronin Kaze. Hopefully you've been able to do retaliation, but that's what it is. You got to do a bunch of activities. It builds up a meter, then you get that option to retaliate, take them on. And it will give you a scoreboard at the end of these 30 seconds. And like usual, I'm out of gear space. So this is Ronin Kaze. Hope you have a good one. Oh, one person that wants to get Pestilence, you're welcome. Talk to you again, YouTube. Bye, YouTube.